Welcome to another Crash Course, Microsoft Copilot Edition. If you aren't familiar with us, we're 2W Technologies, a Tier 1 cloud solutions provider with 4 designations and 1 specialization earned through a Microsoft partnership. We're a full-service technology provider working primarily with the manufacturing and distribution industries. If you want to see our full line card, please visit us at 2wtech.com. Otherwise, today we will be focusing on Copilot for Microsoft 365, which is an application-based AI model from Microsoft. So before we get into the actual demo, I want to go over the different options you have within Copilot. So at a very high level, you have 4 options. One being Standard Copilot. This is a free version offering basic features, still accessible through web, desktop, and mobile platforms, but it was really designed to give you those essential basic tools without having any cost associated with it. Then you have Copilot Pro, which is tailored more towards personal use versus business application. So Copilot Pro includes enhanced features that cater towards individual needs and preferences, aiming to provide a more personalized experience for users. And then you have Copilot for Microsoft 365, which is what we're focusing on today. And this is integrated directly into applications like Teams and Excel, leveraging AI to enhance productivity while maintaining that robust security your business needs. And then the last option is Copilot Studio. This is a more advanced version, allowing for users to build their own agents. So this is more for the development side, the development team. If you want to learn more about agents and what that all entails, let us know because we'll be happy to make a video about that as well. And we'll link some resources in the description too. Otherwise, let's get right into it. Okay, so we'll start with Copilot in Word. So once you open up the application, you should see these quick prompts up here on top. If you don't, just use the shortcut Alt-I and they should pop up. You also can go to the top right corner and find the Copilot icon. This does populate on the side instead of up top here in the document, but it does the same thing. Okay, so they give you some example prompts here that you can just run, and then a text box below it to write your own prompt. What makes Copilot special is you can access other information within your Microsoft 365 environment by clicking here and attaching a file. This has been such a time saver for us specifically. Simple tasks like restructuring documents, for example. So let's say you have a Word doc in paragraph form that you want in more of a bulleted fashion, or repurposing content. Let's say you have a presentation from a webinar you want to repurpose into a blog post. These tasks that would take hours now just take seconds. Let's walk through a quick example that we see a lot with our clients, which is creating SOPs. With Copilot, you can avoid any duplicate efforts in this area. It's very common to have meetings and discussions around specific procedures, so now you can reference those unstructured conversations and get them into an SOP format effortlessly. Just type, "help me draft," keyword draft, remember to reread everything and check for accuracy. Help me draft an SOP. Attach the transcript and hit go. Now, when I click the attached icon, there was a meeting tab where you could pull the meeting info directly from the meeting, but I already had the transcript exported into Word, so I just used that, but you can use either. And just like that, you have a drafted SOP. You can attach multiple documents too, so if you have a bunch of documents that all reference something at some point, this is a great way to pull that all together. Okay. So after it's complete, a pop-up will appear and you can choose to keep what it generated, regenerate if it wasn't exactly what you were looking for, or totally discard. You can also add more information and feedback here, like maybe you forgot a specific section or you want it in a different tone. Just type your feedback and it'll regenerate based on that. So I'll choose to keep it. Then from there, anytime you want to utilize Copilot again in the same document, just do that shortcut I mentioned earlier, Alt-I, and a pop-up will appear. See here, you can also click Inspire, which essentially gives Copilot creative freedom to produce based on the content already in the document, no prompt necessary. Now let's look at Copilot in PowerPoint. This is arguably the most helpful integration. So many PowerPoints are created daily, and keeping messaging consistent across them all is vital to successful communication in your business. Plus, they take a decent amount of time to complete. At least they used to. Okay, so once you open up the PowerPoint, start a new presentation, you'll see the little Copilot icon in the top left of the slide you're currently on. Click that and you see some options. First one being create a presentation. So this process is pretty similar to what we just did in Word. You can write a prompt as detailed or as vague as you want. Reference a file here, and click Go. Note that it utilizes the theme you currently have selected, so I don't have a theme, so it's going to be pretty basic, so just keep that in mind as we go through this example. After it's done, you'll get kind of an outline of what it's thinking for headers and content. You can review those, accept them, and then it'll produce the actual slides. From here, you can choose to keep or discard and try again. So I'm going to choose to discard so I can show you the other options quick. Going back to the icon, these two options pull up that same window we just went through. The next one is add a slide. So instead of creating the whole presentation, you can do slide by slide. This window is not much different, but it does give you some quick prompts you can just click on if you want. You can also summarize the presentation after it's built out, or pull up the slide chat box version of Copilot and ask questions to help you get to your end goal. So another way to leverage this is the opposite of the example I showed you earlier. Let's say you have an outline or a script for an upcoming webinar or presentation. You can reference that file quick to build out the actual PowerPoint. Personally, my favorite part is the assistance with layout and design Copilot provides, because some of the PowerPoints our leadership team has created in the past when they don't bring in our marketing team are quite interesting. It's also a big help in making concise versions of the text that you have, making sure the slides aren't too text heavy. Now let's take a look at Copilot in Excel. What if everyone could be Excel experts in your company? Well, Copilot makes that happen. Whether it's tracking sales, inventory, or just trying to get insights from a spreadsheet, Excel can be very powerful, but it's also time-consuming and a little intimidating if you're not familiar with formulas or pivot tables. That's where Copilot comes in. Once you open Excel with a data set, like this small sample set that I'm using, you'll want to navigate to the top right corner, find that rainbow Copilot icon, and click. You see right off the bat there are some quick prompts you can choose from. You can also view chat history here. We don't have anything in history, so it makes sense that nothing's populating, so we'll go back to new chat. In this text box, you can add images, view prompts, manage content preferences, or turn on your mic to use dictation. Now let's actually play around with it and show you how it's used. So one of the most helpful features to me is you can ask any question in natural language. For example, what's the most popular product? Copilot will analyze your data and give you an answer. No formulas, no setup. You can see that it gives some quick prompts here, anticipating further insight you might be looking for. So to use one, you simply just click it and it'll populate. Otherwise, continue on like we did before. I do want to point out too, anytime that it gives you back a graph or a table, you do have the option to add the insight to a new sheet, which is really nice. If you just click that, it'll populate just like this. You can see sheet 1 was created. I will say the one limitation I've stumbled upon is you can't ask Copilot to combine sheets. So every time it creates a graph and table that you want to put in your data set, it will be on a separate sheet. However, to manually do this, it's very easy. You just copy and paste the table or the graph and then paste it in the sheet that you want. And also, knowing Microsoft, that functionality will come soon enough. You can also ask it to create charts. For example, create a bar chart of quantity by product. And just like that, it generates it for you, so no digging through their chart menus. And again, you can insert the graph into a new sheet. Another cool use case is summarizing your data. Asking things like summarize total orders by status. It'll create a table, even a pivot table, for you automatically. You can even have Copilot answer surface level questions or get those surface level insights, like what trends do you see in this data? This is great if you're trying to tell a story with your data, but you just don't know where to start. My personal favorite is it can help clean up your data. So if there are duplicates, inconsistent formatting, or you just want to filter for something like only pending orders, Copilot will do that with a single command. Just note that by default, the answer will be explaining you how to do it manually, but you just have to hit apply for it to actually be applied to the data. So if you've ever been intimidated by Excel formulas, or just want to move faster through repetitive data work, or you want to stop bugging that one person in your company that knows Excel inside and out, Copilot makes you feel like you got a data analyst sitting right next to you. If you have any questions or want to learn more, visit us at 2wtech.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe.